Hey guys, thanks for joining us. We're continuing our look through the HQ units for the Blood Angels. And this time, Daryl, we're having a chat about Dante. We've talked a lot about Dante through the week.
Dante is probably our favourite HQ choice of the Blood Angels. We would probably trim Dante's moustache for him if he was about. We rate Dante so highly.
Wash his feet and his thighs.
Yeah.
Dante rocking in at 225 points. He is the oldest space marine alive.
Yeah.
Some think that Dante was around at the time of the heresy.
Yep, he's so old he knew Liz Taylor when she was young.
The fluff with Dante is that he is now tired of battle. He can't be arsed, but he's hanging around because of a prophecy talking about a golden savior who will be there in the Emperor's hour of need. Now, the fact that Sanguinius already did that, Dante doesn't take that on board. He thinks it's talking about him, so he's hanging around, just to get the job done as and when it arrives. Other than that, he'd be quite happy sitting at home watching Friends.
Yeah, doing his knitting.
Doing his knitting. No, Dante doesn't knit. He's too fearsome to knit. So, Dante, rocking in at 225 points. Get a load of this. Weapon skill 6, ballistic skill 5, toughness 4, strength 4, wounds 4, initiative 6, attacks 4, leadership 10, 2+ save. Wearing artificer armor again. Has our Infernus pistol, the Axe Mortalis, jump pack, frag and crack grenades, iron halo, and the death mask of Sanguinius. Special rules: and they shall know no fear, descent of angels, independent character, surgical strike, and tactical precision. Now we have a lot to get through here because Dante has a lot of rules.
Dante does it all.
He really does do it all.
Dante is just great as far as we're concerned.
Now, one of the best things about Dante is you get to take Sanguinary Guard as troop choices.
Yep, and
We've went on and on and on about this, but I can't get over how good that is. That's better than Belial.
Yep, he is just excellent. Sanguinary Guard are excellent troops that's out there. You can field 6 units of them with him in a standard game. Even a 1500 point game, you can have him and 6 units of Sanguinary Guard. It just improves the army so much as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Sanguinary Guard.
He also has some particularly good war gear. The Death Mask of Sanguinius, this ancient artifact, resonates with the Primarch's rage at Horus's treachery and can be used to call down a curse upon a foe. Before forces are deployed, choose one enemy independent character. And that model has -1 weapon skill, -1 wound, -1 initiative, and -1 attack, all to a minimum of 1 for the remainder of the battle. The Death Mask of Sanguinius otherwise follows the rules for death masks given in the Sanguinary Guard entry on page 50, where basically they have to take a test.
Or lose 1 weapon skill.
Now, Daryl, I love the idea of the Death Mask of Sanguinius. In fact, I would love to combine that effect with the likes of, is it the Sanguinor that gets the +1 attack or gets to re-roll against a particular character?
Yeah.
With a combination of Dante and Sanguinor, you could totally pick out something like Ragnar or Logan and say, you know what, we're coming to get you.
Yeah, I'm re-rolling my hits. I'm making you softer before I ever... Just the fact that I am on the battlefield makes you soft.
Yeah.
It takes the likes of Nigel down from 2 attacks, 2 wounds to 1. And, it takes so many of them special characters, it softens them up. Any of them that's going from generally 3 wounds, the Marine guys, down to 2, you'll be a lot more careful with them.
Oh, absolutely. His other fantastic rule is the tactical precision, right? Commander Dante and his unit, if he has joined one and they have jump packs, does not scatter when it deploys by deep strike.
You place them exactly where you want, and some of the upgrades you can give to some of the units, you can place them right beside a vehicle and totally destroy the vehicle, turn it.
So what we were talking about in some of the videos past there is Dante with a unit of Sanguinary Guard fitted out with Infernus pistols, or even plasma pistols if you wanted. Infernus pistols better because you're not scattering. Whop down beside a vehicle, bang.
Right beside a Land Raider, you can have him He comes with an Infernus pistol, 5 Sanguinary Guard. The veteran jump pack guys as well, they can have pretty much all the upgrades and just destroy any. You can just pick any vehicle, anything you want to land beside, get your shots. Unfortunately, you can't assault that turn, but I don't think there'll be a lot left to assault.
And the other nice thing about it is it can hook with the next special rule, Surgical Strike. Commander Dante and any squad he has joined have the hit and run universal special rule. So even if you do get assaulted after that...
Yeah, at initiative 6, it's not going to be hard to get away from regular units.
Yeah.
You know, you roll the dice, you get higher, he jumps away. If he's fighting somebody he doesn't particularly want to fight, or if he fancies a fight over somewhere else on the board, he just jumps up and goes.
So, you know, the ability to basically deep strike in right where you want him, plasma them, or use the Infernus pistols on them.
Yeah.
You really do some damage to a big vehicle, especially, Daryl, with so many guys putting their big HQ units in a Land Raider.
Yeah.
Like, Daryl, your Space Wolf list, what price, points-wise, is your Land Raider when you've put...
My Land Raider
Logan.
with Logan and his Terminators are coming in at nearly 800 points.
What would this do to that?
This would soften Logan, make him less of a cheesy so-and-so, would destroy the Land Raider most likely, the turn it would land.
And if you assault them?
If I assault them, I would have a chance in the combat, but I'd be stuck in the wreckage of my Land Raider most likely. Ideally, I would be able to just destroy my Land Raider and not make it explode, so at least I could get out and assault you. I would have a chance in the combat because my big unit is quite cheesy.
Yeah, but look, best case scenario here, you have Dante with Sanguinary Guard outfitted with Infernus pistols, deep striking in right beside a Land Raider, hopefully destroying the Land Raider, making it explode. Your guys are then sitting in there after having taken a pinning test. Then when they try to come out, they're going over dangerous ground.
Yep, they're going to have to take a test for that.
Or difficult ground, so they're going to have to take a test for that. If they do manage to make the assault, these guys still have hit and run, so they can break out of the assault and go back, come in and do that.
They all have power weapons. The only disadvantage is if it's a turn the deep strike, Dante probably wouldn't be able to get into the combat, depending on how many guys was with him, because he'd be stuck in the middle of all the guys when they form a little circle around him.
Yeah.
But for what it does, even if you lost a unit of the Sanguinary Guard for this, it just totally messes up your opponent's entire battle plan.
Yeah, because with this, you have the ability to break the game. Not the entire game, but to break the particular game you're playing, because chances are he will castle a big unit in a vehicle somewhere, because we're seeing it all over the place now. Like, we're seeing 3 Land Raider lists with 3 Land Raiders in it, Darryl.
That's what I am quite well known for, is taking 3 Land Raiders and just not getting out of my vehicles if I get the opportunity. This here just stops you doing that, and with having the rest of the Sanguinary Guard as troops, you could fit every guy in the army with an Infernus pistol.
Yeah.
You could, and they jump pack across the board, stand beside your vehicle and destroy it, basically, because...
And when they're going into close combat, those guys have master-crafted power weapons and whatnot as well, so they are fearsome. So, Dante, 4+ invulnerable save, 2+ armor save.
Yep.
Has a master-crafted power weapon himself, and he can have a big effect with that -1 stat on one of the named characters, or one of the key characters.
HQ guys. It's basically an HQ. Most named characters are.
He has an Infernus pistol, and because of the Descent of Angels special rule, you get to re-roll that deployment. So there's a very good chance you'll get him in turn 2.
Yeah. The only downside for Dante is he's not an Eternal Warrior. He's that old and he's not an Eternal Warrior.
That we're surprised about.
You know, because if you're that old, he's maybe got beyond Eternal Warrior. I don't know if you can get beyond that.
He's maybe been Eternal Warrior and now,
so long that
he's getting old. And
he's forgot how to be an Eternal Warrior. He's been about so long.
You need to ask the people in that old people's home that you play tournaments in.
I have some more prizes I must bring in from the old people. Well, prizes or, I don't know, winnings.
Daryl, as you will find out, Daryl plays tournaments in a local old pensioners' home and kind of robs them of all their worldly possessions. Anyway, we'll go into another time. So, He's not Eternal Warrior, which is a pity. Is a pity. It leaves him a wee bit vulnerable, but you know, 4 wounds.
He picks and chooses his own combats pretty much. You're not going to force him into combat because he's got jump pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta say, for Blood Angels Week, for the 7 days of Sanguinius, him with Sanguinary Guard have been our unit of choice.
Yep, pretty much.
We'd almost build an army around it.
If I could put up with the wings, yes.
You can always paint them pink and run them out as your flamingos.
Yeah, pretty much. That could be my pink flamingo.
Anyway, fellas, we want to know what you think. We think Dante is fierce. Daryl, you think he's excellent.
Totally, I think he's the best of the HQs. I think having an HQ with such cool fluff, he's been around so long.
Say it. I think
he's fierce.
No, I think he's excellent.
He is totally excellent.
There we go. We got him to say it. Anyway, we think he's brilliant. What do you think? How would you use him? You've heard us talk about him all week. Now, tell us what you think. How would you use Dante? It just seems so perfectly matched for the Sanguinary Guard. But we want to know. Put it in the comments, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.